Hey, listen, you were not meant to fit in. I know you're thinking, you know what, Auntie Star sounds like you're going to tell us a story from 30, 40 years ago. I am. Okay, but listen, I do that because I want to share my journey with you. I want you to be encouraged and inspired. I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I made in my life. And I want you to know that you are not alone if you are experiencing any of the things that I have shared on my YouTube channel. I want you to be encouraged. I don't want you to fall into these traps and these, things that I fell into, when I was younger. Well, anyway, I'm going to tell you this story. So at the time I was probably about 20 years old and I had a car. And so my friend invited me out to a club. Now, keep in mind, I was raised in a very strict household. And so my friend that I was with that invited me to the club, she was a little more on the wild side. So we actually I drove to the club. I had a Caprice Classic at the time. I don't know if y'all remember the Caprice Classic, okay? But anyway, it was a red Caprice Classic that my mother gave me. So anyway, so we arrive at the club, and my friend, as soon as she get there, she starts drinking alcohol. And now remember, I was raised in a strict household, so I didn't drink, and I still don't drink. And so anyway, so I ordered a Sprite, right? Now, my sister always told me when I would go out to a club, don't accept dances from a guy. Say no thank you, and just have your put a cherry in your 7-Up, so it won't look as obvious, and and don't dance, because you don't want to be sweaty. And so I took my sister commands when I got to the club. So I'm standing there and I had my little 7-Up or maybe a Sprite. Maybe I felt adventurous that day, and I had a cherry in there, per my sister commands. And guys would ask me if I want to dance, and I would say, oh no thank you. And so I would just stand there in the corner, and I'm just sort of, enjoying the music, and, just sort of doing the little chair dance and standing up dancing by myself, and, nothing too much because, I don't want to start sweating. Okay. So a guy walks up to me. He's a tall guy. And so he says to me, so I'm thinking he's going to ask me to dance. He said, why are you here? And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? Okay, I'm hip. Okay, I'm cool. Okay, that's my friend over there. Look at her. She's drunk on the floor. She's having a good time, and I'm with her. So that means that I'm cool too. And he said, why are you here? He said, you don't fit in here. And I thought to myself, do he not see how cool I am? Okay, do he not see how hip I am with my soda in my hand? Okay, with my cherry in the soda. Okay, he don't notice that. But he kept saying to me, I don't understand why you are here. And I said, well, why would you say that? I said, I'm with my friend. He said, you don't fit in here. That's what he said. Now, this happened, like I said, in my 20s. I am now 57, and I remember that story like it was yesterday. So when he said that, of course, I'm fast forwarding it now. What did he mean by that? What he meant was there are certain people, and and I'm sure you have this spirit about you, that you don't fit in because you were not meant to fit. Now, this is a man that, doesn't know me. He's a complete stranger. I'm thinking I'm hip. I'm thinking I'm fitting in, and I'm thinking I'm looking cool with my little drink in my hand, my little soda in my hand. I'm thinking that I'm looking cool. No. Right? You were not meant to fit in. Listen, if you are a child of God, there are certain environments that you are not meant to fit in. I know you want to be cool, and you want to be hip, and, maybe you want to be part of a church ministry, and, you want to be on this committee at the church, and you want to be a part of this social group, and you want to be a part of maybe this group in college or in high school or in school. You want to be hip on your job. You want to be a part of the it crowd, and you want to be a part of the it group. But listen, you were not meant to fit into that group. You know why? Because you are to be separated. And even the Bible talks about that. We are to be separated. We are not to be a part of the world. We are in the world, but we are not to be part of the world, right? You're supposed to be different. You're supposed to be unique. The world should be able to tell the difference between you and Lil Kim or Foxy Brown. Okay, now that's from my generation, okay? But the world should be able to see the difference. Friend over there dancing, and she's having a good time, and she's getting drunk, and she's all over the floor dancing. Now, what I look like over there joining her? Okay, the world should be able to see a difference. So when people don't want you to be a part of their group, consider it to be a blessing. When someone says, oh, like the guy said to me at the club, why are you here? Consider that to be a compliment. I was sort of insulted, right? Because I'm thinking I'm hip and I'm cool, and what are you talking about? I'm thinking I'm doing a good thing. I'm thinking I'm fitting in, and I kind of blend in, but I didn't, because I was meant to stand out. You were meant to stand out. You are a child of God. Listen, if you are blending in, and if you are a part of the group, and they can't tell who's a Christian and who's not, then that's a problem, because that means that you are not unique. That means that you are blending in with a crowd, and you're not supposed to blend in. But when someone says, oh, well, what's wrong with her? Why is she dressing that way? Or, why is she talking that way? Why is she presenting herself that way? It's because you're a child of God, and you're not supposed to look like the world, right? People should be able to tell the difference between a friend that I went to the club with and me. They should be able to tell the difference. She wasn't raised, in a Christian home. She wasn't raised to have a relationship with God. She didn't have the values that my mother put in me, right? I had those values. I'm supposed to stand out. I'm not supposed to blend in with her, but I wanted to. I wanted to be a part of the it crowd. And, she had a lot of friends, and she chose me to go. Well, the reason why she chose me is because she didn't have transportation. She didn't have a car, and I did. So, but at the time I didn't realize that. But of course, hindsight is always 20/20. But that was the reason why. So it wasn't because she thought that I was a cool person. It was because she wanted to use my car as transportation to get to the club, right? But listen, consider it a compliment if someone says, "Oh, you're nerdy," or "Oh, what's wrong with you?" "Oh, you don't want to have a drink," or "Oh, you don't want to smoke this," or "Oh, you don't want to hang out with us," or "We're going to do this. We're going to do that." And you know what? You're supposed to say no. Okay, because you're different, you're unique. The world should be able to see a difference in you. You're not supposed to blend in at any time. And will there be seasons where you will feel like you want to be included and you want to feel like you're a part of the group? Of course, absolutely, there will be seasons of that, and that's okay. That's a part of growing up, and that's a part of growth, right? But no, you're not supposed to fit in, right? You're not supposed to blend in, right? You're not supposed to look like the world, because you are separate, because you are a child of God. Okay, so anyway, I pray that this encourage you, and keep being unique and keep representing Jesus Christ. Okay, God bless you, and remember, do not ever give up before the miracle happens. God bless. Bye.